put up a criminal each way double.
Group 1 horse in the making, I think, Sam.
She's a little bit overrated. Everyone's getting a little bit too excited.
He'll be running around at the age of 13, Sam. Yeah, here we go.
Yes, hello and a warm welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview. Join us here every Thursday at 6 p.m. for our big weekend previews. As always, joined by Jack Dawling, and another big influx on subscribers from our last two shows. We obviously had our anti-post show on Sunday. It's done really well. Thanks for all the support on that. We'll be back again on Sunday with another one of those, and also plenty of subscribers from the Thursday preview shows. I've kind of got a target in my head this week that we get to 2,222 subscribers on this week's show. That's my aim. And if you want to know what that number means, it's a reminder to be compassionate and empathetic. And someone who is compassionate and empathetic is Jack Dawling. Jack, how was the last, it's been last week since I've really spoke to you. How's it been?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Great segue that was.
Was it?
Compassionate and empathetic, I'll take that. But no, it's been okay, thank you. Ticking along, and yeah, it's decent week of racing coming up. Of course, kind of everything building for Cheltenham next month, and hopefully let's find a few winners.
Yeah, we always get into that period, don't we? The lead up to Cheltenham, where racing isn't quite as good as we all hope it would be, but we do kind of build up that big excitement in the middle of March. So looking forward to that. We've got 4 races we're going to look at today. We've got 1 from Wincanton, 2 from Haydock, and then we finish with the Grade 1 from Ascot before looking at any other selections and our best bets for the weekend. So let's get cracking then, Jack, and we'll start off at Wincanton. We're going to go for the 136 there, which is the Kingwell hurdle. It's a Grade 2, just shy of 2 miles, 1 mile 7 furlong this, where Burdett Road is now even money favourite. Golden Ace is 11-4. Brentford Hope is 11-2, and Hansard is the outsider at 16-1. Was actually going to be one of my fancies in the William Hill Handicap hurdle last week, but didn't run. Jack, I think it was the first show we kind of came back with in the Cheltenham trial show. You said that Golden Ace, essentially you said that she's a little bit overrated. Everyone's getting a little bit too excited about her. So in that case then, is it Burdett Road here, or are we going for one of the two others?
Oh, I'm probably at a price, actually. After saying I think she's a bit overrated, I think I'm going to go with her here. I think 11-4 is a bit of a price compared to even money against Burdett Road. Yeah, I did say she was overrated, and she got well beaten after drifting to 5-2 favourite at Cheltenham. I just don't think 2.5 miles is her cup of tea at all. She's been put to bed by Lucky Place twice. She's run okay in receipt of quite a bit of weight. Of course, she won over 2.5 miles at Cheltenham last year in April on good ground. I don't think she really gets 2.5. I know she beat Lucky Place over 2 mile 3 about this time last January. But I think like a strong run 2 miles is probably where she's seen its best effects. And I actually think, although there's only 4 runners here, I think she could get that. Burdett Road and Brentford Hope, I think, are both going to go forward. I don't think Paul O'Brien let Sam Twiston-Davies have his own way out in front. And I think Golden Ace will actually have a good chance here. She's disappointed a little bit. I don't think she disappointed on seasonal appearance all that much. I think she did disappoint a little bit last time out. But in saying that, she's still been running some pretty good races. Burdett Road probably has a couple of question marks, perhaps on the ground. Of course, last 2 runs been on good ground. He did hack up a Newmarket over 1.5 miles in a listed contest on soft ground. So there's probably not too much of a question mark there, but there's enough for me to go with Golden Ace. I know a few people reckon she could be one lined up for a handicap at Cheltenham, but they decided to skip the Betfair hurdle or the William Hill handicap hurdle. They've come here instead, and I think they'll be rewarded at 11-4, Sam.
Yeah, okay, you're going with Golden Ace in here. Look, Burdett Road, this isn't my kind of race to have a big play in at all, but Burdett Road is fascinating. A few weeks back, hearing everyone going, oh, is he the one that's probably the big price, the each-way selection in a champion hurdle? If you now look at what's happened this week and the potential of all 3 of the big guns running that champion hurdle, you're probably thinking, oh no, that wasn't the best each-way bet in the world. But look, we'll see. So like I say, it's not a race that I'm going to go mad in. I think that Brentford Hope is actually at 11-2 a fair bet. It'd be a small win play in here. Well, it's obviously going to be a win play with 4 runners. But look, he's a course and distance when they won a maiden hurdle around here. And look, we remember that run against Constitution Hill, where Constitution Hill made that big mistake at the last. But I thought he ran a really nice race there. He looked like he was travelling strong enough and finished his race really well. I have gone off Golden Ace, which is the mad thing, because I tipped her up on the show where you said place lay. And to be fair, you got it right. But I've actually gone off Golden Ace now, and this is where she probably goes and wins for Jack. But yeah, I think Brentford Hope, my one-time Lincoln fancy, Jack. It's not long now.
Goodness
I
me.
remember fancying this horse for a Lincoln, but yeah, not long now until we see the
Yeah.
Lincoln take place. But yeah, Brentford Hope 11-2. I just have a small win play there. Let's go to Haydock, Jack. We've got two races there. These are more competitive fields coming up, and the first of which is the 240, which is just over 3 miles. The Rendlesham Hurdle, another Grade 2 here, where Beauport is 15-8. Botox Has is 4-1. The Mean Lion 13-2. Sounds Russian 7-1. Thunder Rock also 7s. Gwenny May Boyd 12s. Indiana Dream 16s. And Kerry Hill, the outside of the lot, at 25-1. So far, we have a dead 8 in here. So this could be one for each way plays, hoping you get 8 runners on the day, obviously. We're currently looking at Haydock. We always kind of pay attention to the ground, don't we, at Haydock? But we're looking at good to soft at the moment. I don't know how much rain's scheduled to hit, but we'll just wait and see because we know how testing Haydock can get. But the one that I think will run a decent race, Jack, is Botox Has, and that's going to be no surprise to you whatsoever at 4-1. I thought the horse actually ran a blinder in the Cleve, and what I have been noticing with the Gary Moore yard, and I think I mentioned it last week, sure, the show before, that the Gary Moore yard, and he's been quite vocal, is that it hasn't quite worked out how they wanted it to form-wise with Gary and Josh so far, but it seems like their horses are coming back to form and potentially at a really, really good time. Now, Botox, he'll love it if it does get soft. Obviously, he won the Stayers Handicap Hurdle here back in 2022. I remember that was a really strong performance. And at that time, I remember actually saying that, I thought he could be a Stayers Hurdle contender. I'm pretty sure I might have tipped him up anti-post on one of our shows a few years back for a Stayers Hurdle, Jack. But there's no better time, like I say, for this stable to come alive. They could end up having some decent runners in handicaps at the festival. But genuinely, I do think that he'll run a really big race here. I think back at Haydock, if we can get some soft ground, even good to soft, we know Haydock can still be testing enough. But there is one thing I will say, is he's 100-1 for a Stayers Hurdle, right? If they do come back to form, like, I'm not saying he's going to win a race, but if you get extra place on the day, I wouldn't have said like 100-1 wouldn't have been your worst bet in the world, because he has ran some absolute blinders at Cheltenham and it is a really weak Stayers. I'm not telling you he's going to go and win a Stayers. He's got no chance of winning a Stayers Hurdle, but it's the kind of race where it could get messy in behind. And I could see Tiapu winning at 11-8, and then suddenly you've got a 50-1, 66-1 shot in second and third. So all I'm saying is I just watch him. If he does come back to form here and does win, I do think he will run a big race at the festival. I'm not saying he's going to go close, but I'd be fascinated to see how he runs. So, yeah, Botox Has, though, at the weekend, 4-1 for me. Jack, who do you like?
I think Botox Has. I think Botox Has winning for you a couple of years ago was absolutely criminal, because you've been following him off a cliff since. He'll be running around at the age of 13, Sam, just going, yeah, here we go. We're going again.
Yeah.
But no, it's actually a good race, I think. This is probably, I know you got the Ascot Chase, which is looking like a cracker, but I think this is probably the race of the weekend for me. I think it's a good puzzle to pick apart. You've got Beauport in there, who ran an absolute screamer at a big price in Long Walk Hurdle. That was a relatively short favourite, considering he went off 16-1 there, but he did run a big race coming back over from fences. Botox Has there, ran a decent race at Cheltenham. I thought that was a pretty muddling affair that Gal Road won, to be honest. There wasn't too much pace on. The Mean Lion, he's an interesting one. Is he going to stay 3 miles? Look, they went an absolute crawl and he picked up the pieces there. And then even the likes of Sounds Russian and Thunder Rock in behind. I think it's actually a really good race. I'm going to stick with, I'm not sure at all the Mean Lion is actually going to stay 3 miles, but his penultimate run at Hereford makes me think he might do. He was eased down at the line, came back at a 93% finishing speed, and I think, although he's got a flat pedigree and he hasn't ever been tried over anything further than 2 mile 5, I think this is actually a good test for him. He was keeping on well over an extended 2 mile 5 at Kempton last January in the Lanzarote, and hey, look, this is a completely different task to that, but I think he's going to get the ground in his favour. He doesn't really like good ground, so I think this is going to be perfect for him. 3 miles at Haydock is exactly what he wants, I'm not sure, but I think 13-2 is actually too big.
Okay. The Mean Lion, yeah, one for Jack there, 13-2 currently. And you mentioned Botox Has been a cliff horse for me. This is why we purposely didn't preview the big handicap chase at Ascot, because if we did that, I would have put up a criminal each way double, which would have involved Botox and Goshen. So we purposely did it for that reason, because it would have been criminal. Right, let's move on then, shall we, to the 3:15, which is the Grand National Trial Handicap Chase, just over 3.5 miles here. And Jubilee Express is currently the 5-1 favourites. Val Dancers 11-2. Yeah Man also 11-2. Gitmakers 13-2. Royal Pagaille is 15-2. Famous Bridge is 9s. Gallia de la Tolle 10s. Apple Away 14s. Fontaine Collonge 16s. And where it all began, also 16-1. I'll tell you what, I'll go first again this, and I'll let you have the race after. But I'm going to have a go on Galia de la Toe here. I think she's, after watching a few runs back, I've watched a few of her replays, she does seem a little bit of a one-paced horse, doesn't she? I don't know if you watched the race back at Chepstow, but down the straight, it was fine, nothing, but just kept on. And remember, this horse finished 8th in a Grand National last year. Obviously, this horse is going to be planned to go back for a Grand National once again, being a Grand National trial. But look, she does jump really well. Chepstow horses, they can get found out, and also at Haydock, you can get found out, but she can jump really strongly. She seems to get really tired on soft ground in the Welsh National, but if it's not as testing as it was then I think she's going to run a big race. She's now £5 lower than her last winning mark. Take off Tristan Durrell's £3 in this, and essentially she's £3 lower. She's really well handicapped. There's no doubt about it. I think if she jumps really well, I just can't see her out of the frame here, Jack. And there probably will be 4 places on the day, I'd imagine. But currently 10-1. I'll have Galia de la Toe in the Grand National trial. Who for you?
Yeah, that's a good case. You make a good case there, of course. Dan Skelton coming into these handicaps has to be respected. It's not really a race I like to get stuck into. I don't really have the best kind of record in these big staying chases, which probably turn into an absolute bog on the day. But Val Dancer looking absolutely cracking form. The 8-year-old, 5 wins from 8 runs over fences, just has a really good attitude and constitution, seems to just get the job done. I know concedes £3 to Jubilee Express, who he beat by a length and a half last time out, but he's a solid jumper and he seems to really have come of age in the past year or so. So I know this is a big jump up for him, but I think he's going to go close again at about 11-2.
Okay, there we go. So Val Dancer for Jack. Right, final race that we look at then. Like I say, we aren't going to do the big handicap chase. It would be criminal. The 3:37 is the Ascot Chase, a Grade 1, 2 mile, 5 furlongs, and 6 runners currently heading to post. Pick Dory is 2-1. Corbett's Cross is 5-2. Long Press 11-4. Then we've got a big jump. Le Patron 16. Blue Lord 20s, and Phlegmatic 100-1 outsider. Jack Dawling. We've got a flat bully, as we like to call him, in Pick Dory as the favourite in the market. We've got an Irish Raider coming over in Corbett's Cross, and then Long Press, who was the winner of a Cotswold Chase last time out. What do we make of this?
Yeah, I think the market probably has it right. I think Pick Dory is going to go and win here. He's going to have ground in his favour. He absolutely loves this course and distance. He beat Long Press, of course, by 5.5 lengths. Absolutely destroyed him last year in this. Of course, he is a 10-year-old, and Long Press is coming off the back of a good win at Cheltenham last time out, but it looked like he needed every bit of that extended 3 miles in the Cotswolds Chase, held Long Press. And I think this 2 mile 5 on good, probably going to be good ground, or good at least in the ground come the day. I think it's a little bit too sharp for him. It's the same can be said for Corbett's Cross. So I think this race is going to be dictated from the front and Pick Dory, and I think 2-1 is actually a pretty solid price.
Yeah, this is another one, Jack, where I'm not going to play anything big at all, but I did want to look at Corbett's Cross and just go back and look at why he might be running in this race. Now, it's fascinating because obviously he won the National Hunt Chase at the festival over 3 miles, 6 furlongs last season. You'd think, God, this horse needs a stage. He should be in the Grand National trial, Handicap Chase or something like that. But they're dropping this horse back in trip. And I wanted to look at his form kind of. I know he ran two starts back. He ran over 2 mile 7, but looking at kind of the mid 2 mile trips, and he won a beginner's chase over, I think it was 2 mile 5, beating 3 Card Bragg, and then was third behind Grange Clare West over this distance. And this was only a couple of seasons ago. I actually just have this feeling that if he can get the pace in this race, he might actually run a massive race over this trip. It might be that this trip might suit him when he gets a decent pace. I'm not 100% sure, and this is why I wouldn't play anything big. But this is why I wouldn't be backing Pick Dory, is because I think he is a little bit of a danger. I'm intrigued to know why they're going back to this trip. Why throw him in a Grade 1 over this trip? There's obviously a reason. He's obviously been working at home, and they've gone, do you know what? Like, this is the perfect race for him. So yeah, I'm probably going to leave the race alone. I'll be totally honest. I'll leave the race alone. I'm not going to put up a selection. But the reason I'm not going with Pick Dory is because I think Corbett's Cross has a major. I actually think Long Press's race, Jack, wasn't actually a strong Cotswold Chase. I don't know about you. Like, I know it definitely needed like the whole trip and potentially even further, but I don't think it was that good beating Stage Star. I don't know what you made of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. To be fair, I actually think the Stage Star did take a big step forward. So a lot of people would cram the form because it was his first run over 3 miles and he hadn't been going too well over 2.5. I think he did put in a big performance. I think I would actually merit it just a really, probably a little bit better than yourself. But with Corbett's Cross, I do agree. It's interesting stepping back in trip, but you need to remember, it was only 2 years ago that he went from running over 2 miles in a Grade 2
Yeah.
Novice hurdle beating Founder 50 and then stepping up to 3 miles in the Albert Bartlett. I think he's just really versatile. And it's
Yes.
just, as he's getting a little bit older, does he need that extra distance? I don't know. He clearly had the versatility to step back and trip when he was younger. He's a couple of years older, though, and I think that would be the question mark for me there.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. He seems like he could be a versatile horse. We'll find out on Saturday for sure. Any other selections this week, Jack? I'll quickly mention one in the Swinley Handicap Chase. It begins with a G and ends in Ocean. That would be the one for me at 33-1. No, genuinely, anything else for you?
I have one over in Hong Kong, so do you want me to fire away? Or
Yeah, let's get. If you've only got one over in the international segment, let's get into the international segment because I haven't got anything. But you've got one over in Hong Kong. Who is it on Sunday?
Yeah, race 8, it comes in Shartin on Sunday. There's a few potential Derby types running here, and one who I don't think is probably going to get the 10 furlongs of the Derby, but in race 8, number 7, Midwinter Wind, South African import who did all his winning up to 7 furlongs, runs here over a mile for the first time. He was ridiculously impressive on his Hong Kong debut a few weeks ago. He absolutely flew home. His final 2 furlong time was quicker than the mighty Kying Rising has recorded at all throughout this season. So it was he showed a really sharp turn of foot. He's drawn in stall 4. He'll be ridden quietly on the rail there to try and get the mile, but I think he's a top quality horse. He's a Group 1 horse in the making, I think, Sam, and he's running in handicap company here. So Midwinter Wind in race 8, definitely one to stick in the tracker and have a look at on Sunday at Shartin.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'm just looking at the Racing Post website now and looking at this horse, and yeah, okay, I'll keep an eye on that one, Jack. Thanks for that one for the viewers to note down and put in their trackers. And like I say, if you haven't watched any of the racing on Hong Kong, watch it on Sky Sports Racing in the morning. It is fantastic viewing. It really is. So there we go then. That is it for this week's show. Bar the fact we haven't given a best bet. Our best bet this weekend. And do you know what? I'm going to go first on this one as well, because last week you had your best bet in the William Hill Handicap, and I purposely switched away because it was going to be Joyeuse. I switched away because of that, and then I end up going with West Balboa, who was the one selection out of the 3 that didn't win. So I'm going to go first in here, and I am going to put up Botox Has in the race at Haydock. What is it? The 240 at 4-1. I'm going to be a Botox Has. So you can't have Nameen Lion. I'm sorry.
You knew I was going to go Nameen Lion.
It was either Gallia de la Toe. I'd respect you if you put Gallia de Slow or Val Dance, but you're not going to do that. I don't know.
That is typical. Oh, in that case, I'll go pick Dory to get the job done in the Ascot Chase. He's not too much for a price. You've taken my mighty Nameen Lion, so it'll be Pick Dory for me.
It's fine. You can have the best bet next week. That's the way we're going to work this now. Sorry, but you stole mine last week and you asked to us this week. So there we go. We're going to be back on Sunday for our anti-post episode 2, where we're going to have a look at the Pressbury Cup. We had comments asking about that, and we're also going to give our second selection of 5 ahead of the Cheltenham Festival. Really looking forward to that. As always, big thanks to Jack. Do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Get us to 2,222 subscribers before Sunday's episode. But yeah, we'll catch you again on Sunday, 6 p.m. for our anti-post preview.